live stream. In this live stream, I am going to share some of my favorite things. And you can join in the live chat whenever you want. Maybe I'd like to hear a little bit about you. Comment what your favorite things are. And maybe if you think I can do certain character impressions, why don't you put those down in the comments below too? And I'll see if I can answer your questions ASAP. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with one of my favorite things of all time, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Now, this movie released all the way back in 2007, and I loved this movie. That was how I got introduced to Alvin and the Chipmunks. So, comment down below, are you an Alvin and the Chipmunks fan too? If so, what's your favorite movie from the Chipmunks? And who's your favorite character? I have all 4 of the live action movies on DVD. And this one is where struggling songwriter Dave Seville opens his home to a trio of chipmunks, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. And the chipmunks become overnight sensations. A greedy record producer named Ian Hawke takes the chipmunks on a grueling concert just to get money in his pockets. And Dave has to rescue his furry family before it's too late. So, this is the first Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. It is a good movie. Then I have Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeak Wall. I don't have the original cover for this, but this is where Alvin, Simon, and Theodore are heading into school, but it's not easy until a musical competition gives them the chance to get back on top. Also, this is the first appearance of Brittany, Jeanette, and Eleanor, also known as the Chipettes, in the live-action franchise. The next film is Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked. This has a couple different covers, but the one I have looks like this, at the front and at the back. So basically, Alvin, Simon, Theodore, and the Chipettes are enjoying a luxury cruise liner, and Alvin, serving as the main troublemaker, as always, his crazy ideas get the gang stranded on a remote island. And I do have the novel adaptation of Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked as well. So maybe when this live stream becomes a success, maybe I can do a live reading of that. Who knows? But anyway, the Chipmunks and the Chipettes get deserted on a desert island, and they soon find out their tropical playground is not as deserted as it seems, especially when they meet a girl named Zoe. And then finally, there's Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip. So Alvin, Simon, and Theodore go on an epic adventure to get to Miami because Dave went on a business trip there with his new girlfriend, thinking that Dave is going to propose and dump the chipmunks for good. Alvin, Simon, and Theodore hit the road, and they have 3 days to get to Miami and stop the proposal. So this one's a good movie. All of them are good movies. In my opinion, Theodore is my favorite because he's cute, but all of them are good chipmunks. And when it comes to the chipmunk movies, I love them all. I'm saying about the live action movies. I'm not necessarily talking about the Chipmunk Adventure or anything like that, but it's been forever since I've seen the Chipmunk Adventure. So, alongside the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, one of my favorite movies is Zootopia. I don't really have the cover or any. I do have Zootopia on DVD, but I just don't have the cover for it. So I'm going to show you. Hello, Summers Films. Thanks for joining. So here is Nick Wilde. He's the Nick Wilde I've had for so long. And Nick is obviously my favorite Disney character and probably my favorite character ever of all time. Number one favorite. So yeah, Nick is from Zootopia. And Zootopia is one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite Disney movies. Comment down below, what's your favorite Disney movie or Disney character if you want to be specific about that, even though there are a lot of Disney characters, or it doesn't have to be Disney. What if you have a favorite character that's at number 2 or number 3 and is not Disney, like this guy? Many of you people who grew up in the 90s might remember him from the Nickelodeon show, Real Monsters. This is my second favorite character of all time, the Grumble. I don't remember what year this came out, but this toy came out maybe, 1995. You couldn't really see it. So basically, the Grumble is my second favorite character of all time and my favorite character on Our Monsters. Let me know if you know this show too, and who's your favorite from that. All right, I will catch up on the comments. Summers Films, I'd say Encanto if you had to say one movie, and you don't know which Disney character. That's okay. That's okay if you don't know which Disney character you really like. It's okay. There's another Disney character that I like, and this is my plush of her. This is from the Pixar movie Inside Out, which is one of my favorite Pixar movies. This is Sadness. And I really love Sadness because she's cute. They are coming out with Inside Out 2 pretty soon. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm especially looking forward to the new emotions. If any of you have seen the trailer, like ennui, embarrassment, anxiety, and my favorite out of the new emotions so far is envy because she is really cute. And I actually do a good impression of Sadness. So, remember the funny movie where the dog dies? Yeah, I shouldn't disrupt this. Yeah. There are lots of other favorite characters, too. One of my other favorite things besides Alvin and the Chipmunks that I'm a big fan of is Trolls. And I do have my favorite out of the Trolls movies is the new one, Trolls Band Together. So this is basically where Poppy and Branch are back on another adventure, and Branch has to bring his brothers back together since he was in a... Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like my Sadness impression. Anyway, Branch has 4 brothers, as you see here. So there's John Dory, Floyd, Clay, and Spruce Bruce. Yeah, he's called Spruce earlier in the movie, but then Bruce later in the movie. And I'm not going to spoil it for any of you who have not seen it yet. Anyway, they're all part of a boy band along with Branch called Brozone. And so when Floyd is captured by these pop star villains, Velvet and Veneer, Branch must reunite the other members of Brozone. And along the way, Poppy discovers her long-lost sister, Viva. That one's a really good movie. I highly recommend it. And speaking of Poppy and Viva, they're actually two of my favorite trolls. So this one is Viva. This one's a cardboard I made. And this is Poppy. Now, her form is her version is the way that it is in the Netflix series Trolls The Beat Goes On and the Peacock/Hulu series Trollstopia. Those series are good too. I recommend those. I am a big Trolls fan. So Viva and Poppy are two of my favorite trolls, as well as Smidge. So this one's Smidge. She has a low voice, a low, deep voice, kind of like another character I know called Bette Bighead from Rocko's Modern Life, which is Nickelodeon. I think I've shown you the complete series DVDs on my complete series collection video. So Smidge, she's a pretty cool character, even though she has a low, deep voice, kind of like Bette Bighead. Then there's DJ Suki. She was my favorite supporting character in the first Trolls movie. And she does have more parts in The Beat Goes On. I don't know if I know a lot of her moments in Trollstopia, but this is her form, her Netflix form at least, or Trollstopia version as well. And DJ is a pretty cool character. I also like Harper. She's kind of secondary too. She doesn't have a lot of moments in the Trolls franchise, but she is a pretty good character and she's very artistic. I know I am. Holly from Trollstopia is a country troll, and if you've seen Trolls World Tour, you probably know that there are some different music tribes of trolls, like country, techno, hard rock, and so on. And Holly Darlin's one of my favorite characters in the series Trollstopia because she pretty much had a lot of country flair, especially in her voice. I really liked her. So she became my favorite pretty quickly. And this is Queen Barb, the main villain in Trolls World Tour. I think I started to like her, and she's really, really cool. And I gotta say, I'll never look at rock music the same way again. I might think of Barb, or there's a Trollstopia character named Val Thundershock. Anyways, besides Trolls, there are two other DreamWorks movies that I like that I have right here. This one is Mr. Peabody and Sherman, which came out a decade ago. So happy 10th anniversary to Mr. Peabody and Sherman. It's where Mr. Peabody and Sherman have adventures in the Wayback, which is their time machine, and they travel to places like ancient Egypt, the time of Leonardo da Vinci, the French Revolution, and even I don't know what it's called, but they went to Greece, and there was some kind of war there. And over here, we've got Penguins of Madagascar, which also came out a decade ago, but it's not quite a decade ago yet. But it's a really great movie. I have been a fan of Penguins of Madagascar before, and they are pretty cool characters. So those are my favorite DreamWorks movies, but Trolls is definitely at the top, the Trolls franchise. Now, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite shows to top it all off. Unless you guys have more you want to share with me. I'm going to start off with these guys. Now, these guys are from a PBS kids show that ended recently called Nature Cat. And Nature Cat is about a group of friends who love going outside and exploring nature and learning about new things about nature. So I have all 4 of the plushies that a toy company, Tomy, one of my favorite toy companies, made. So this one is Nature Cat, of course. He has a green hat and a green outfit on with a red feather on the top of the hat and this sash, this belt and sash that he's wearing. It's called a sash. I know that because I watched A Nature Carol. They had a few TV movies around their time too. They had Ocean Commotion and The Return of Bad Dog Bart, A Nature Carol, which is a Christmas one, and their recent one, the Nature Movie Special Extraordinaire. That's also a good one, and I think it's the finale to the series. Alongside Nature Cat is Daisy, who's a bunny. Her ears are kind of floppy right now. But Daisy, oh, just so you know, Nature Cat is voiced by Taran Killam in the show. And Daisy is done by Kate McCucci, who I think she did a character in Spy Kids Mission Critical, which was a Netflix series. Done by Kate McKinnon is Squeaks. So she's a mouse. And she loves cheese. Explore the moon. Come on, you guys. Wait, is the moon made of cheese? Moon cheese! Oh, baby, I'm in. That's a pretty good impression of Squeaks. And finally, this is the lovable, huggable dog, Hal. So he has this tuft of hair on his head. And there's his ears. Oh, okay. Bye, Summers Films. Thank you for attending. And Nature Cat is a pretty good, cool show. I couldn't agree more. Thank you for joining. Anyway, here's Hal, for those of you who are joining me. And Hal also has this collar on him as well. And he's got this tuft of hair and fluffy puppy dog ears. And he's voiced by Bobby Moynihan. I think he did Mel in The Secret Life of Pets. And I think he was in Descendants too, for all I know. I'm not an expert on Descendants. Another one of my favorite shows recently, ever since Disney Plus put this classic series on their streaming service, there's PB and J Otter. I'll turn it right here. PB and J Otter. So if you guys don't, before it became Disney Junior. So over here we have Peanut, Baby Butter, and Jelly, who are the main characters. They're 3 otter kids who live in Lake Hoo-Ha with their family and friends. They have many adventures along the way, and if they ever run into a problem, they do the noodle dance to come up with ideas to solve their problems. Usually it's Jelly who suggests they do a noodle dance, and Peanut is like, oh, I'll use my noodle, but I'm not dancing. Yeah, that's how Peanut is. So they do the noodle dance and they come up with ideas to solve their problems. So that's what happens in every episode. I love it personally because it's cute, it's funny, and the characters are great. I think Baby Butter and Jelly might be my first favorite characters in the show. The other favorite characters are Pinch and Munchie. Munchie's a beaver who likes to munch on wood, and Pinch is a raccoon who likes tea parties and girly stuff because, after all, she's a girl. I think you might have seen these before on my recent video. Let me see if I can put them all together. Yeah, so these are the Ren and Stimpy show, which is one of my favorite shows, as I mentioned in the VHS collection video I recently did. So Ren and Stimpy is basically a show that was meant for an older audience. and it aired on Nickelodeon a long time ago. It's over 30 years old, and it's got a lot of crazy stuff in it, but I think it's humorous and unique. So the first, and I've collected these tapes. I do have them on DVD too, but I would never part with these VHS tapes. Who else has heard of Ren and Stimpy or anything else I've talked about? As well as VHS tapes. Who's heard of that? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who still collect VHS tapes, so comment down below if you do. So these are some of my favorite VHS tapes, and I would never part with them. So this is Ren and Stimpy the Classics. On the back, we have the episodes, which I did not describe the episodes on my previous video. So Stimpy's invention was the Happy Helmet invention. That's where they're doing Happy Happy Joy Joy, the classic song and dance. Space Madness is a space cartoon. Untamed World has a lot of exotic creatures that look like Ren and Stimpy, but it's sort of like a nature documentary, and that's one of my favorite episodes. Plus, they have Breakfast Tips, which is a short about cereal and prizes, plus Log, which is like a commercial for Log treated like a toy. Like, what rolls downstairs alone or in pairs, rolls over your neighbor's dog. It's great for a snack and fits on your back. It's Log, Log, Log. That's a pretty good one. So that's that one. Then I have volume 2, which is the stupidest stories. On the back, and fun fact, this has all of the first 3 episodes in the series by far. The first 3 episodes in the series, which is Stimpy's Big Day and The Big Shot, which they both share the same storyline. It's like Stimpy's Big Day parts 1 and 2, where Stimpy writes a poem for Gritty Kitty Litter and becomes famous and has $47 million, which, as you can see on this picture, Ren's like, wait, I'm the cat. It's my money. I wrote that poem. Sorry, I just love doing that impression. And then there's their own version of Robin Hood called Robin Hood, where Ren's the main character, Robin Hood, or AKA Robin Hood, and Stimpy's the other roles, including their parody of Maid Marian, Maid Moron. Oh, and I forgot to say that it has 2 segments from the Ask Dr. Stupid segments, where someone random asks Stimpy, who's playing Dr. Stupid, a question, and Stimpy answers it in a crazy way, like, the ugly white slab in the can of beans. He says it's the queen bean, and all the other beans are the worker beans that serve her. Funny joke, right? And then volume 3 has the stinkiest stories with some Powdered Toast Man segments. Powdered Toast Man is their superhero in the series. Anyway, there's episodes are Ren's toothache, where Ren loses all his teeth by not brushing them, and he gets a visit from the nerve-ending fairy. Nurse Stimpy is where Ren gets sick and Stimpy has to help him and becomes Nurse Stimpy, and that's one of my favorite episodes and one of the very first episodes I ever saw of Ren and Stimpy, not gonna lie. And then The Cat That Laid the Golden Hairball. That's where Ren tries to make business out of Stimpy's hairballs. That's how come Stimpy doesn't have any fur in this picture. He horfed them all up so Ren could make money out of those hairballs. I know, it may sound like a ridiculous idea, but it's a good show in my opinion. It's meant for an older audience, though. Ren and Stimpy on Duty is not one of the volumes, but it has 2 episodes. The one that's longer, like I said in my previous video, is the Royal Canadian Kilted Yaxman, which is one of my favorite episodes. And then the next one is In the Army, where they're trying to be in army training. And the Kilted Yaxman episode is where they travel somewhere. I can't remember. They travel across the tundra and other crazy stuff. And there's also a song in this episode, too. Plus, there's a Fire Dogs music video, which I don't particularly care about the music video. Fun fact, I've also been creating Kilted Yaxman outfits for other characters. And I even add the girls into it, calling them Yax women. Yeah. And then finally, there's In Disguise, which the surprise inside was stickers that I already have taken out since I got this brand new. And the episodes are Monkey See, Monkey Don't, where they disguise themselves as monkeys. Fire Dogs, where they try to be fire dogs like firefighters. And The Boy Who Cried Rat, where Ren is disguised as a mouse. And his ears kind of remind me of Mickey Mouse, like Disney World. And then there's a music video that goes along with it too. Like I said in my other video, that song, Ren's Pecs, was in a CD, a music that came out for 90s Nickelodeon called The Best of Nicktoons. So that was a CD I once heard. I don't know. It had a lot of other shows on it, but I think it was a good album. Now, it's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So those of you who are joining, welcome. For those of you who have already joined, thank you for coming. And those who have joined before, thank you for coming as well. So Animaniacs is another one of my favorite shows. I love Animaniacs since it's really funny and the characters are good, especially the Warner siblings. This one's Yakko. This one's Wacko. So they're both considered the Warner brothers. And this is the Warner sister Dot. And I have the complete series for them. And it includes the movie Wacko's Wish, which is another good movie too. So that's Animaniacs. And then last but not least, since this live stream is going on for like half an hour, here is a tape of one of my favorite childhood shows, Rubba-Dubbers. I loved it when I was young and I still do today. They have episodes of Rubba-Dubbers right now on YouTube. And that's cool because it's like bringing the series to a whole new generation. Rubba-Dubbers is on a clay/stop-motion animation. And they used to air on Nick Jr. So the main concept, as I explained in one of my video descriptions, was where these characters, so here's Tub, Sploshy, Reg, Terrence, Finbar, Winona, and Amelia, they use their imaginations to see if a problem they have can be solved in a way they want it to, while learning valuable lessons along the way. So on this tape, the episodes are Train Driver Tub, which that one I did a recreation video on. And it's like, I think it might be one of my most popular videos since it has over 2,000 views. So there's Train Driver Tub, Sploshy's Tale, Terrence's Double Trouble, Scary Finbar, and Reg the Monster. So this explains everything, but let's see. Tub wants to do everything on the train. Like he wants to blow the whistle and drive it and do all the things he needs to do. But when robbers try to steal his gold, he gets some of his friends to help. Sploshy wants a tail, like Winona, to do tricks, and she is part of a circus, and that's when she has a tail. Terrence has a new friend, Lawrence, his imaginary friend, because he wants a friend who likes the same things he does. Finbar wants to be able to scare other people, and Reg wants to be alone so much that he becomes the leave me alone monster. So, that's basically it. So, comment down below if you've ever heard of Rub-a-Dubbers or anything else I've mentioned, or what are some things you like? Be sure to comment down below. Anyways, that's all the time that I have for this live stream. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you at the next one. Bye! Thank you for attending, by the way. For those of you who have attended, for those of you who didn't attend, you could still watch the replay. And thank you for seeing my first live stream. Thank you for watching. Bye!